Putin's parade turned into a war zone. Lady Gaga nearly walked into a mass bombing, and the Vatican just elected a pope from Chicago? Today on Ctrl Alt WTF, 100 drones fly straight into Russia's most sacred holiday, a US deportee tries to blow up 2 million fans in Brazil, and the Catholic Church just made a move that's got cardinals whispering and progressives cheering. Let's get into this. This is Ctrl Alt What the f? Russia's throwing a parade, but Ukraine's throwing drones. Over 100 of them, straight into Putin's backyard. It's Victory Day week in Moscow, a national holiday meant to honor the defeat of Nazi Germany. But instead of fireworks, air raid sirens. Ukraine just launched one of its biggest drone attacks yet. Over 100 drones reportedly intercepted by Russian air defenses. 2 made it within range of the capital, and timing, and that's not a coincidence. Foreign leaders, including China's Xi Jinping, are in Moscow for Putin's parade. But Ukraine's silent air campaign is clearly sending a message that you're not safe. Not even here. Now here's the twist. Putin announced a sudden 72-hour ceasefire starting May 8th, saying it's for humanitarian reasons. But Zelensky isn't buying it. He called it PR. Just an excuse to protect visiting leaders from ducking during the parade. He even issued a warning that we can't be held responsible for what happens inside Russian territory. Yeah, not exactly peace vibes. And while Russia's air defenses brag about taking down drones, they've also shut down 9 airports, injured civilians, and scrambled to protect infrastructure, all days before their most patriotic holiday. So is this a turning point in Ukraine's playbook? Well, drone diplomacy meets psychological warfare, and world leaders are stuck in the middle. From drones over Moscow to a bomb threat at one of the biggest concerts in history, the next story jumps continents, but the stakes just as high. A terrorist tried to bomb a Lady Gaga concert and live-streamed child executions. Let that sink in. A man recently deported from the US was arrested in Brazil for plotting a mass terror attack at Gaga's record-breaking concert on Copacabana Beach. His plan: bomb the stage, kill children, live stream the whole thing. And he called it a satanic ritual. Authorities arrested 44-year-old Luis da Silva and a teenage accomplice just hours before the show. A concert with over 2 million fans in attendance. That's more than any solo artist ever. But here's the disturbing part. Da Silva had only been deported from the US last month. The reason? An illegal firearms charge. That's it. No terror alert, no red flags passed on, and now Brazilian authorities are scrambling to understand how he slipped through the cracks. Meanwhile, Gaga and her team, well, they had no idea. Brazilian police say they didn't warn her to avoid sparking panic. Gaga still performed, completely unaware of how close her show came to tragedy. So how did a man this dangerous leave the US without a single warning? And are we missing more of these stories? Okay, deep breath. Let's shift gears from the edge of disaster to a story that might just rewrite religious history. Because the Vatican, well, it just went full Chicago. The Catholic Church just did something it's never done before. Made an American Pope. Cardinal Robert Prevost, born in Chicago, is now officially Pope Leo XIV. This marks the first time in history that the leader of the 1.3 billion member Catholic Church hails from the United States. Prevost isn't a random pick either. He was handpicked by Pope Francis years ago to oversee bishop appointments, aka the guy who decides who runs the church next. That move, well, now it looks like a long game chess. Pope Leo XIV will likely continue Francis's progressive lean, more social justice, more interfaith dialogue, and maybe even more climate talk. But here's the twist. This also raises questions about how a Western pope will resonate with the global South, where Catholicism is booming. At the end of the day, a pope from Chicago just took the Vatican throne. But some insiders say this move is less about nationalism and more about continuity. Well, the question now isn't why him, it's what's next. So, from war games to world stages, today was a wild one. Thanks for hanging out with Ctrl Alt WTF, your daily reset for news minus the BS. If you like today's ride, hit that follow or subscribe. Thank you. And, share it with someone who's tired of boring news. Catch you tomorrow.